John Deere has introduced a new series of tractors, the 60 series row crop tractors. Today we're going to take a look at those tractors, look at some of the features and changes on those tractors, specifically those that kind of try to address Magnum features that a lot of customers like. Let's start out with explaining why, Kelly, we've got a 55 series tractor here to look at.
If you'll follow me over this way, we'll take a quick look. In John Deere's lineup of tractors, they have 6 different models in their Waterloo-built row crop tractors. They have 3 models that consist of the 55 series, and this is what they call the small chassis tractors. And they call them small chassis because they have a shorter wheelbase and the frame is narrower. Now, in the 55 series, George, they have the 4055 at 105 PTO horsepower, the 4255 at 120 horsepower, and the 4455 at 140 horsepower.
Okay, so those 3 smaller tractors are basically unchanged. They've been the 55 series has been that way for quite some time, correct?
That's correct. Same models, same horsepowers, no big changes on these tractors.
The 60 series then is the larger frame size, larger series, and there are 3 models there?
Yes, there are. If you'd like to follow me this way, we'll take a quick look.
First thing I noticed, Kelly, is the way they've moved the exhaust stack over to the side. We know how much folks like the Magnum visibility. Nice clean hood. Looks like they've moved everything they could off the hood to try and get like a Magnum.
That's correct. The prior series tractors had the engine air intake and the exhaust mounted right in the middle of the hood. And they've tried to clean up their hood by routing their engine exhaust along the underneath side of the cab, up the fender here, and then along the corner post. Now this is a double layer design, and it's ceramic coated.
Okay, looks like it created a little problem though, because now you can't get their side window open because it bangs into that exhaust stack on the side there.
The prior window used to open. They'll have to actually remove some screws and pull the whole window out as an assembly now with this type of a design.
A couple other things I see right away. The oil system, they used to have that side screw-on filter, and it spilled oil a lot when you were servicing. Here we've got, again, like a Magnum, the vertical spin-on filter system.
Yes, their prior filter was a horizontal design, and unfortunately when you removed the filter, oil would fall all over the block and on your feet. And they have repositioned this as a vertical type design, similar to Magnum, makes it a lot easier to service and maintain.
Okay, looks like another improvement here is the air filter system. Why don't you show me how we take that cleaner out?
Well, the prior filter was designed so that it had to be kind of snaked out of the hood, and you actually had to bow the hood in order to move it. The new design, they have relocated the filter housing, and you can pull the filter out now from the side like this.
Okay, a lot better than what they used to have. Can you open the hood on this one, Kelly, or not?
Unfortunately, with the 60 series tractors, the hoods are still bolted on. This is not a tilt-up hood.
Okay, we'll take a look at that system maybe a little later. Why don't we walk around front and see what else there is to look at over here?
If you take a look at the nose of the tractor here, you'll notice that they have made a change right at the very top. They've added a small mesh grill, and they use this for their engine air intake now.
Okay, nothing else different here. These are the lamps they've always had, right?
Same headlamps that they've always used. Fuel tank is still located in the front. Just the addition of the small mesh grill for the engine air intake.
Okay, let's keep going around and see what else is new. Well, the first thing I see that's really different looks like the steps to me. Bigger, better, easier to use.
You'll see that these steps are very similar to the Magnum steps in that their old step design was kind of a stair step design up next to the chassis. They have added a very large and very nice set of stairs here. 3 steps that are wide. They're self-cleaning just like a Magnum step. They also have grab rails here so that as you're entering into the cab you can grab on either side.
Okay, they're nicer than they were, but you're still using the old doorway here, right? And it's got to be angled so you can try to use that older doorway. That cab isn't any different, is it?
This is the same cab, same basic cab design that they've been using since 1972. So the cab door still opens the same way. They still have a relatively narrow entry and exit in and out of the cab. The biggest thing here is that they have wider steps, easier to get on, and they have added this landing right prior to entry into the cab.
Okay, question I've got on the steps, Kelly, what about when you're mounting tanks on the side of this tractor? Is that step going to be a problem?
The steps are designed so that you can remove several bolts and position them in 3 different positions, but you still have a very wide step right next to the chassis, so it's going to be questionable as to how easy it will be to mount chemical tanks or loaders onto the tractor.
Okay, bit of a compromise either way. Something else I see on the side here, new lights, new lamps up on the fender.
You notice that they are now using halogen lamps very similar to Magnum, square lamp designs. The one other change that they have made, you notice that the bottom lamp has a louvered type opening. These louvers are to prevent light from glaring into the cab. Now unfortunately with a rounded cab glass you're always going to get a certain degree of distortion with this type of a cab design and glass design.
Okay, thing I noticed that is missing from this tractor though that we have on a Magnum is that's a good location for a fuel filler and easy to get at. Where's the fuel fill on this tractor?
Fuel fill on the 60 series tractors is still located on the nose of the tractor.
Okay.
You have to step up on the axle and pull the fuel tank cap off and you still fill from the very front of the tractor.
Okay, other features? Well, I think I see something here, Kelly, that we know Magnum owners like, and that's the red positive post.
That's true. The positive terminal allows you to jump start the tractor and recharge the batteries, and with the positive terminal right there, the negative terminal right there, much easier to get at than what they had before.
A nice feature that all of our customers do like. Where are the batteries on this tractor?
Batteries on the 60 series tractors have both been located to the left-hand side, and you can pull the cover off. You'll see both batteries located side by side with the positive terminal right there.
Okay, again like Magnum, good location, easy to service. So another feature of ours that they've picked up on. One other thing I noticed a minute ago, that fender, is that now metallic or non-metallic material?
Well, with the addition of the steps right here and then the landing right here, they've added plastic fenders to prevent mud and dirt buildup from the steps in the landing area.
Okay, and we like non-metallic materials because they don't rust, they don't dent, they look good for years. So have they done some other changes on the tractor in addition to that piece that's now non-metallic?
Well, the next changes that they've made have been in the cab area. So what I'd like to do is to get you to go up into the cab.
Okay, but the rest of the sheet metal, Kelly, is that now plastic or is that the same metal that they've always had?
Still the same metal sheet metal that they've had as far as the hood and side panels and so forth.
Okay, let's put the battery box cover back on and let's go up in the cab.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, Kelly, the steps might be for old guys, but the doorway is still for you young folks. Okay, tell me what's new up here.
Well, the first thing, if you look at the key switch, you'll see there's a change right there.
There's no push-pull cable, Kelly.
That's right. They have removed the push-pull cable that they used to shut the engine off with, and they now shut the engine off with a key switch.
Oh, just like a Magnum.
That's right.
Okay, a feature that everybody likes. What else have we got up here that's different?
One of the other changes, when they moved the exhaust stack over to the right-hand corner post, I'm sure they encountered a lot more cab noise than what they had before. So in order to try and counter that, they're using a different type of foam material in the cab for sound deadenings.
It does look different. I see down here there's a couple of protrusions, large black studs. Do you know what these are for?
Those are monitor mounting studs to be used for planter monitors or spray monitors.
That's another feature that folks like about Magnum. But what I don't see, Kelly, and maybe it's down below where I can't take a good look, where's the plug so you can make the electrical connections for monitors?
Here? Well, the power outlet for the monitor is actually at the very rear of the console behind the hydraulic levers. You should see a power outlet back there.
Okay, I've got it, and it's not too hard to get to it. Okay, what else is new up here, Kelly?
Really, those are the major changes that they've made to the interior of the cab on this tractor.
I noticed one thing, though. Even though they've removed the exhaust stack and the air cleaner off the front, we still got a big post up here. In fact, I'm only looking at about half of it with the door open. And we've still got the big bar across the bottom, and I think they're the same whether we're talking 55 series or 60 series. Is that right?
That's right. If you look at this cab, it's the same basic cab design that they've had since 1972. So it still incorporates a center post as well as crossbars that you're going to have to look around.
Okay, tell you what, let's finish up by taking a look under the hood and looking at that air cleaner system.
Okay.
Why don't you get the tools, Kelly, and I'll start pulling the side panels off. We need to put these back on, Kelly?
Yeah, want to make sure we protect both systems.
Okay. Boy, I'll tell you, this sure makes you appreciate the way a Magnum hood swings up and out of the way when you want to look at the top of the engine. But tell me, on the 60 series, do you really have to take off all this sheet metal to do servicing up here?
There are going to be occasions where farmers are going to have to be able to get into both sides of the cooling coils and both sides of the radiators to clean them and make sure they're clean for operation, particularly in dusty, trashy field conditions.
Okay, and I see a lot of other things. Electrical connectors back here, fittings up here, all of which I guess have to be serviced from the top side because you can't get at them from the bottom.
It just makes it a lot easier to be able to service if you had a tilt-up hood.
Okay, this is the new air cleaner system, is that right?
That's correct.
How does that work?
Well, the system is very similar to a Magnum in that they have gone to a Stratotube pre-cleaning system. With the intake grill at the front, they can now bring engine air in over the top of the fuel tank into the Stratotube pre-cleaner, and with the vacuum off from the exhaust, they can remove excess dust and dirt that way.
You're going to spin it right out and never take it into the dry element. We know what a great feature that is, and that's why we've had it for years. Okay, I think it's time to put all that sheet metal right back on.
Unfortunately.
All set over there?
Yes.
Okay, nice tractor, some nice features, but not a Magnum. Doesn't have the powertrain and a lot of other things. Tell me about the powertrain.
The 60 series tractor actually dates back nearly 20 years when you look at the engine and the transmission. But beyond the date of the powertrain there, I think you need to look at the features that the Magnum tractor has over the Deere tractor. You look at the Magnum engine, we've got more operating torque and more peak torque across a broader band. So we've got better lugging ability and better performance characteristics in the field.
Much bigger block, much newer block, better cooling, better use of fuel. What else are we got to talk about?
If you look at the transmission, the Magnum transmission has 18 forward speeds. They're very carefully placed. We've got very smooth modulation. If you look at our unique mid-mounted wet master clutch, it's an exclusive. No one else in the industry has a mid-mounted master clutch like that.
And that means a reliability to our customers, and that's really important.
That's
what
right.
What else can we talk about?
If you look at the hitch system on the Magnum tractor, the hitch is designed to allow us the ability to fine-tune it to a broader range of implements with applications so we can adjust it for the job that has to be done. Ultimately, that means more productivity.
We've got more hitch lift capacity too. If we look at the cab, we've got more comfort, more features, much better visibility, even with the improvements they've made.
The Magnum tractor has over 47 square feet of glass area versus about 42 feet of glass in the Deere. But beyond that, we've got good forward visibility. Our visibility down the side, their tires for row crop applications is very good. It's a very good, comfortable cab to sit in.
Okay, serviceability, we know that's critical with customers because of downtime costs and that sort of thing. the opening hood, the side panels that open for service. We know how much that means to folks.
A tilt hood, removable side panels, things that are easy to access and to service are going to be key to serviceability and a good maintenance program.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelly.
You bet.
60 series tractor, a nice new line of tractors from Deere, better than the 55 series, still not a Magnum. Thank you.